What's going on, YouTube family? It's your boy, the Educated Weirdo, back with another tutorial. Today, we're going to be covering top-down analysis. Take a look at the chart in front of you here. You'll see a pendant formation on an uptrend. There we are on the daily chart here. It actually broke out of this particular pattern to the upside. Price action is above the 200 moving average, so we knew we were in a full-out uptrend. So we're going to drop down to the 4-hour chart here to continue the top-down analysis. You'll see I drew up a channel at the top, and the channel worked as a form of resistance here. You'll see multiple touches on that. So once you get 2 to 3 touches, you know you're on to something. And price bounced down to the bottom, went a little bit below the 200 moving average, but used that almost as a form of support. Bounced back up, and I knew it was heading back up to the channel again for another try at that channel. So it bounced, once it actually broke the channel, went above it, and then it came back down and touched the channel again. I knew at that point the channel was going to act as a form of support instead of resistance because they switch roles. So at that point, when I got the 2 touches there, I drew a trend line from this point to this point, and I continued it all the way up. Had no clue if it was going to come back and touch that trend line again, but I know if it did, I knew I definitely was on to something. So when it came back and touched for a 3rd time, I knew I had a strong trend line at that point. So I dropped down to the hour chart and continued my top-down analysis. You'll notice here it actually went through the consolidated there for a minute in the daily channel that I drew up earlier. It ranged and consolidated. So when it actually broke out of that, it continued in the channel that I drew up on the 4-hour chart, which is this one here. Then it went into another pendant, like a flag pendant style formation, and it dropped down into the, coincidentally, it went back into the channel that I drew up on a daily. See, this is why you have to have multiple channels and multiple confirmations, because these things go together, man, like clockwork. So when it went here, notice it still bounced off of the trend line, still following that channel. So that was a strong confirmation that we were going to get a reversal. And there's a couple other things here too I could have pointed out, but to keep the video short, we'll just keep it to that. So it went up strong to the upside once again. Now notice the channel up here that once upon a time was actually it was actually following, has turned into full out resistance now. So it stayed along those time frames. And let's drop down to the lesser time frame here, the 30-minute. And you'll see it's following the bottom of this pendant, which the bottom portion of this pendant now is actually acting as a form of support. So when it hit that, it actually came together right here at the bottom of this trend line that I drew up earlier. So that's 2 confirmations. The 3rd confirmation was the pivot point, which is the dotted green line. Pivot point indicator, I like to use that as a form of resistance and support also. And that was the 3rd confirmation. I knew 3, I was on to something. So at that point, I was able to drop down to like the lesser time frames and use the Fibonacci retracement tool, which you'll see there at 38 and the 61. That's the golden zone. So I knew price action was going to pull back to that zone at some point, and I was able to jump into the trade on the 5-minute time frame. Jumped in there after I got those 3 confirmations, and I made my take profit in basically the golden zone, the middle of the golden zone, coincidentally, and it went right into the middle of the golden zone. So I was 100% accurate on that.